calling all ambitious auto sales and marketing professionals. We need to talk urgently about vehicle sales, which is expected to soften in the second half of 2022, 2H22. Believe me, it will hurt your sales performance badly. True? No jokes. In truth, this hand-picked news item has been specially selected for the purpose of warning you to arm yourself with creative tactics and strategies. It's for the sales and marketing individuals to cushion the negative impact on auto market. Hold your horses. Allow me give you a foretaste of what is yet to come. Alright, thanks. In essence, this negative side of this newsletter can be easily boiled down to matters of the expiry of the sales and service tax, SSI, holiday, the depreciating ringgit against the dollar, plus the shortages of semiconductor chips and components, coupled with shipment delays. Additionally, the higher operating expenses, all of which dampens the auto selling market. Without sounding too long-winded, let's dig into core of the bulletin, shall we? Thanks again. Breaking news. Vehicle sales are expected to soften in the second half of 2022. Petaling Jaya, vehicle sales are expected to soften in the second half of 2022. Vehicle sales are expected to soften in the second half of 2022, 2H22, in view of the expiry of the sales and service tax, SSI, holiday at the end of next month. CGSCIMB research in a report said the government's plans to introduce targeted fuel subsidies and higher interest rate environment will also dampen sentiment in the automotive sector in the second half. The research house is maintaining its full-year total industry volume, T4, forecast of 580,000 units, despite the strong projected vehicle sales growth in the first half. Year-to-date April 2022 TIV comprised 37.2% of our full-year projection of 580,000 units, 14% higher year-on-year. We expect sales momentum to continue in the second quarter, given the robust backlog orders. CGSCIMB research is maintaining its neutral rating on the automotive industry and expects the sector to register stronger year-on-year revenue growth in the second quarter driven by higher TIV delivery. However, it said earnings performance could be partially offset by higher operating expenses, in view of the depreciating ringgit against the dollar. The automotive sector trades at 14.2 times the 2022 estimated price to earnings, P/E, in line with CGSCIMB research's target sector P/E of 14 times. We think that the sector's valuation reflects the mixed growth prospects in 2022. We refer Burma's Auto BHD given the addition of the Kia and Peugeot marques to its stable, said the research house. CGSCIMB research noted that TIV fell 23.2% month-on-month, MOM, to 56,213 units in April, due to lower sales of both passenger vehicle and commercial vehicle segments, which fell by 24% and 13% MOM, respectively. The Malaysian Automotive Association attributed the weaker MOM TIV in April due to shortages of semiconductor chips and components, coupled with shipment delays. MAA expects sales volume in May 2022 to stay relatively flat MOM, due to the shorter working month following the Hari Raya holidays and ongoing supply chain disruptions continuing to affect several automakers. In April, TIV grew 8% year-on-year to 215,965 units, driven by higher sales from the non-national segment, plus 26.9% year-on-year, led by Japanese marques Honda, Toyota, and Mazda. However, this was partially offset by a decline in sales volume of national brands like Proton, which fell by 27.8% year-on-year due to chip and component shortages. Meanwhile, market leader Perodua still managed to deliver healthy 11.5% year-on-year sales volume growth in the first 4 months of 2022, despite the plant shutdown and vendor supply issues in the first quarter. Hence, the national segment's market share fell by 6.5% points year-on-year from 62.7% in the first 4 months of 2021 to 56.1% in the first 4 months of 2022. Meanwhile, Toyota retained its position as the leading non-national brand with 13.5% market share in April. This was despite the strong resurgence from Honda, which registered 33% sales volume growth last month. To conclude this newsletter regarding the alarming news of Malaysian vehicle sales are expected to soften in the second half of 2022, here are the salient points. must be repeated. Moreover, the upcoming negative states of auto sales must be examined well. Hence, proactive measures must be taken to ensure the sales and marketing of cars and vans will improve or stabilized. Agree or not? In a nutshell, the newsletter The Problems of the Upcoming Poor Sales is caused by the Sales and Service Tax, SSI, expiration. Also, the ringgit depreciating against the dollar. Added to this bad news is the shortage of semiconductor chips and components, as well as delivery delays. To make matter worse, there is the added burden of the higher operating costs. Period. Not that we know the seriousness of the looming slow sales of automobiles, we should be ready to meet all the eventualities if such predictions comes to pass. Agree or not? At this juncture, it great to include a fitting quotation from E.B. White. He was an American writer and the author of several highly popular books for children. He says, "Everything in life is somewhere else, and you get there in a car." With this, I shall bid you a fond goodbye for now. Thanks a million. End of newsletter. Source: extracted and modified from open printed media. P.S. Come to think of it, we know if it is a lengthy auto newsletter, hence we want to congratulate you for watching and reading this bulletin completely. Needless to say, since you have fully read this news, therefore, you now deserve more forthcoming weekly free bonus of a chapters from the book How to Handle All Kind of Sales Objection. Additionally, we are eager to know which part of this newsletter you learned most. Your feedbacks are critical so that we can help each other grow effectively. Lest you forget, these sharing will continue in YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and of course in our author, trainer, and consultant's email, josephsfn@gmail.com. Upon request. Alright. Thank you. We hope to meet you next week. Goodbye and best wishes. From me, yours truly, Madam Sophia, the virtual presenter to CTM Joseph. June 5, 2022.